故事猫小队到意大利旅行喽。
The Story Cat team arrived in Italy with high spirits, embarking on a foreign adventure full of laughter.
故事猫小队兴高采烈地抵达了意大利，展开一场充满笑声的异国大冒险。
The Story Cat team arrived in Italy with high spirits, embarking on a foreign adventure full of laughter. For their first stop, they came to the magnificent Milan Cathedral, and just as everyone was admiring the carvings, they suddenly heard a scream.
第一站，他们来到宏伟的米兰大教堂前，正当大伙儿赞叹着雕刻时，突然听到一声尖叫。
For their first stop, they came to the magnificent Milan Cathedral, and just as everyone was admiring the carvings, they suddenly heard a scream. It turned out that Pompompurin, who was also traveling there, had run into a thief, and the round little guy was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan.
原来是来旅游的布丁狗遇到了小偷，圆滚滚的它急得像热锅上的蚂蚁。
It turned out that Pompompurin, who was also traveling there, had run into a thief, and the round little guy was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. Seeing this, Zanzibar let out a loud roar and dashed forward frantically with heavy steps, looking like an out-of-control steamroller.
粽子牛见状大吼一声，踩着沉重的步伐，像一台失控的压路机一样疯狂冲刺。
Seeing this, Zanzibar let out a loud roar and dashed forward frantically with heavy steps, looking like an out-of-control steamroller. Not to be outdone, Dumpling Sheep yelled about unleashing a headbutt while catapulting toward the thief like a cannonball.
水饺羊也不甘示弱，一边大喊着要使出头锤，一边像炮弹般向小偷弹射出去。
Not to be outdone, Dumpling Sheep yelled about unleashing a headbutt while catapulting toward the thief like a cannonball. Bun Dog gave into his foodie instincts, using a freshly bought Italian baguette as nunchucks and swinging it wildly right at the thief.
馒头狗则发挥了贪吃的天性，把刚买的意大利长面包当成双节棍，劈头盖脸地朝小偷挥舞。
Bun Dog gave into his foodie instincts, using a freshly bought Italian baguette as nunchucks and swinging it wildly right at the thief. The thief was scared out of his wits by this group of strange creatures, and was finally tripped up heavily by Milk Trittle's tripwire move.
小偷被这群奇珍异兽吓得魂飞魄散，最后被牛奶龟使出的绊马所重重绊倒在地。
The thief was scared out of his wits by this group of strange creatures, and was finally tripped up heavily by Milk Trittle's tripwire move. Pompompurin, having recovered his bag, was moved to tears and gave each little animal a big hug.
夺回包包的布丁狗感动得直掉眼泪，送给每只小动物一个大大的拥抱。
Pompompurin, having recovered his bag, was moved to tears and gave each little animal a big hug. After saying goodbye to Pompompurin, the team took a ride to the famous Leaning Tower of Pisa.
告别布丁狗后，小队坐车来到了著名的比萨斜塔。
After saying goodbye to Pompompurin, the team took a ride to the famous Leaning Tower of Pisa. Looking at the tilted tower, Zanzibar innocently thought the building was about to collapse.
粽子牛看着倾斜的塔身，天真的以为这座建筑快要倒塌了。
Looking at the tilted tower, Zanzibar innocently thought the building was about to collapse. He rolled up his sleeves and pushed with all his might. Instead of straightening the tower, he planted himself deeply into the dirt.
他撸起袖子用力去推，结果非但没把塔推正，反而把自己深深地插进了地面的泥土里。
He rolled up his sleeves and pushed with all his might. Instead of straightening the tower, he planted himself deeply into the dirt. Story Cat quickly pulled out his camera to capture the hilarious sight of Zanzibar stuck in the grass with his feet up in the air.
故事猫急忙拿出相机，捕捉下粽子牛双脚朝天，卡在草地上的滑稽画面。
Story Cat quickly pulled out his camera to capture the hilarious sight of Zanzibar stuck in the grass with his feet up in the air. Meanwhile, Bun Dog and Dumpling Sheep posed next to it with classic forced perspective gestures, taking countless funny photos pretending to eat the tower.
馒头狗和水饺羊则在旁边摆出经典的借位手势，拍了无数张假装把塔吃掉的搞怪照片。
Meanwhile, Bun Dog and Dumpling Sheep posed next to it with classic forced perspective gestures, taking countless funny photos pretending to eat the tower. Milk Turtle brushed the dirt off himself, shook his head helplessly and felt that his teammates were truly beyond saving.
牛奶龟拍了拍身上的泥土，无奈地摇摇头，觉得这群队友真是没救了。
Milk Turtle brushed the dirt off himself, shook his head helplessly and felt that his teammates were truly beyond saving. With their stomachs growling loudly, they then rushed into an authentic Italian restaurant.
肚子饿得咕噜噜叫的他们，随后冲进了一见到底的意大利餐厅。
With their stomachs growling loudly, they then rushed into an authentic Italian restaurant. The waiter brought out a platter of classic spaghetti bolognese, and the rich aroma instantly filled the entire room.
服务生端上了一盘经典的番茄肉酱意大利面，香气瞬间溢满了整间屋子。
The waiter brought out a platter of classic spaghetti bolognese, and the rich aroma instantly filled the entire room. One dog ate so excitedly that he buried his entire face directly into the plate, emerging as a hilarious red-furred dog.
馒头狗吃得太过激动，直接把整张脸埋进盘子里，出来时变成了滑稽的红毛狗。
One dog ate so excitedly that he buried his entire face directly into the plate, emerging as a hilarious red-furred dog. Next, a supergiant margarita pizza was served piping hot, with the melting cheese pulling higher than the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
接着，超级巨大的玛格丽特比萨热腾腾上桌，起司千丝辣的比比萨斜塔还要高。
Next, a supergiant margarita pizza was served piping hot, with the melting cheese pulling higher than the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Dumpling Sheep and Zonzi Bull each bit one end of the pizza and started a fierce cheese tug of war, resulting in both falling flat on their backs.
水饺羊和粽子牛各摇着比萨的一端，展开了激烈的起司拔河大赛。结果双双摔了个四脚朝天。
Dumpling Sheep and Zonzi Bull each bit one end of the pizza and started a fierce cheese tug of war, resulting in both falling flat on their backs. Sipping some sparkling water, Story Cat wrote down in his notebook that Italian food is not only delicious but also highly entertaining.
故事猫一边喝着气泡水，一边在笔记本上写下意大利食物不仅美味还很好玩的评语。
Sipping some sparkling water, Story Cat wrote down in his notebook that Italian food is not only delicious but also highly entertaining. After eating and drinking their fill, the energetic group arrived at the historic Roman Colosseum.
吃饱喝足后，精神百倍的大伙儿来到了历史悠久的罗马竞技场。
After eating and drinking their fill, the energetic group arrived at the historic Roman Colosseum. Standing among the ancient ruins, Zonzi Bull suddenly got pumped up, striking a fierce bull pose to challenge Dumpling Sheep to a duel.
站在古老的废墟中，粽子牛突然热血沸腾，摆出猛牛姿态向水饺羊发出决斗邀请。
Standing among the ancient ruins, Zonzi Bull suddenly got pumped up, striking a fierce bull pose to challenge Dumpling Sheep to a duel. Dumpling Sheep dodged nimbly, and Zonzi Bull crashed headfirst into a solid stone pillar, seeing stars from the pain.
水饺羊灵活的一闪，粽子牛直接一头撞上了坚硬的石柱，痛得眼冒金星。
Dumpling Sheep dodged nimbly, and Zonzi Bull crashed headfirst into a solid stone pillar, seeing stars from the pain. Bundog acted as a dedicated cheerleader on the side, excitedly shouting ancora in the Italian he had just picked up.
馒头狗则在旁边当起称职的啦啦队，用刚刚学会的意大利文兴奋地大喊安可。
Bundog acted as a dedicated cheerleader on the side, excitedly shouting ancora in the Italian he had just picked up. Milk Turtle silently put on a gladiator helmet he brought along, pretending to be the strongest turtle shell warrior of ancient times.
牛奶龟默默套上随身携带的角斗士头盔，假装自己是古代最强的龟壳战士。
Milk Turtle silently put on a gladiator helmet he brought along, pretending to be the strongest turtle shell warrior of ancient times. Story Cat was in charge of maintaining order, constantly reminding everyone not to damage the historical site and to quickly come over for a group photo.
故事猫则负责维持秩序，不断提醒大家不要破坏古迹，赶快过来拍大合照。
Story Cat was in charge of maintaining order, constantly reminding everyone not to damage the historical site and to quickly come over for a group photo. For the final leg of their trip, the team boarded a rocking small boat to the dreamlike Blue Grotto on Capri Island.
旅程的最后，小队搭着摇晃的小船来到了梦幻的卡布里岛蓝洞。
For the final leg of their trip, the team boarded a rocking small boat to the dreamlike Blue Grotto on Capri Island. As the boat slipped into the narrow cave entrance, the seawater before them shimmered with a mysterious and dazzling sapphire blue light.
随着小船滑进狭窄的洞口，眼前的海水闪烁着神秘而耀眼的宝蓝色光芒。
As the boat slipped into the narrow cave entrance, the seawater before them shimmered with a mysterious and dazzling sapphire blue light. Milk Turtle jumped into the water excitedly to swim, and under the illumination of the blue light, his shell turned into a magical glowing jellyfish shell.
牛奶龟兴奋地跳进水里游泳，它的贝壳在蓝光的照耀下，变成了奇幻的发光水母壳。
Milk Turtle jumped into the water excitedly to swim, and under the illumination of the blue light, his shell turned into a magical glowing jellyfish shell. Looking at the crystal clear water, Bun Dog couldn't help but drool, imagining cooking a pot of blue seafood soup right there.
馒头狗看着清澈见底的海水，忍不住流着口水，幻想着在这里煮一锅蓝色海鲜汤。
Looking at the crystal clear water, Bun Dog couldn't help but drool, imagining cooking a pot of blue seafood soup right there. Laughter echoed continuously within the ancient cave as the 5 close friends huddled together, leaving behind a most precious group photo.
欢笑声在古老的洞穴里不断回荡，5个好朋友紧紧靠在一起，留下了最珍贵的合影。
Laughter echoed continuously within the ancient cave as the 5 close friends huddled together, leaving behind a most precious group photo. This amazing Italian journey filled with chaos, delicious food, and laughter came to a perfect close amid the sound of the sapphire waves.
这场充满混乱、美食与笑声的意大利惊奇之旅，就在宝蓝色的海浪声中完美落幕。
This amazing Italian journey filled with chaos, delicious food, and laughter came to a perfect close amid the sound of the sapphire waves.
橘色的余光晕开在海平面，我们留下的泥土印渐渐变成了地图的点，把意大利的颜色装进褪色的帆布袋，7次融化的温度是我们笑声的由来，只要并肩站着，蓝洞的光就在口袋。